we've got the Nikon ZFC, which I'm filming on now, and we're pitting it against Paul's, what have you got there, Paul?
XH-1.
He's got his XH-1.
But without the power pack.
Ah, right. So, he's not bought the power pack, so they're a similar weight, similar kind of size.
Well, these are my favourite 3 finished edited pictures from our shoot today, and it should be easy, shouldn't it, to see which one is the Fuji and which one is the Nikon, because one costs twice as much as the other, so the picture should be twice as good. Is it easy to tell? Can you see which one is the Nikon and which one is the Fuji? It's testing, isn't it? Perhaps we'll be able to see more when we see the images straight off the camera.
It's going to be really interesting. I mean, this has got the kit lens on it, which is slightly unfair, I suppose, because you've got quite a snazzy lens on that one, Paul.
A 27mm pancake.
What? It's using the 27mm pancake. That's a renowned lens. It's so sharp. So, again, not the fairest of tests for the ZFC.
400 ISO. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, you would think that the Fuji with that lens, how much is that lens, do you know?
Oh, this is a Mark 1. The Mark 2, which has got an aperture ring, is about £440, I think.
Okay, so the price of that lens alone is half the price of this camera with a lens. So you would expect it to outperform this significantly. But of course, this is more modern technology, isn't it? You know, this is, you know, Nikon doing, you know, what they do best. So let's see how it performs. You know, I noticed yesterday on the website that you could get this Nikon for under £1,000 now with this kit lens. So how much is you know, one of those cameras, Paul?
Well, of course, you can't buy an XH-1 now.
No, but the equivalent
will be an XT4 at the moment until the new one comes out, and that's about £1,400 for the body.
Yeah, so you're looking at about £2,000 worth of kit, and I'm looking at about £1,000 worth of kit.
Yeah.
So you would hope that that is twice as good as this.
Well, theoretically, yes.
That's the maths. So let's see how they get on.
Well, let's dive in with some pictures to see. Now, here's a canal scene, a very flat day, as you can see, we've chosen to go out on. Is one of these images twice as good as the other? Is it obvious which one is the Nikon? Well, the Nikon is the top picture. Did that fool you? Let's have a look at another picture. That one straight from the camera. I haven't done anything to these, and it's obvious, isn't it? The extra punch on the Nikon on the right, but look at the extra detail you're getting from the shadows there on the Fuji. So let's give it a heavily backlit shot against the sky. Obvious which camera's which here, because of course the Nikon doesn't come with a flash. That Fuji comes with a flash. Lots of the Nikon competitors will have a pop-up flash. Because it's retro, the Nikon doesn't. Now let's try a close-up picture with some autumn leaves, or fall as you call it in the US. Now it's difficult, isn't it? Look at that. They are starting to look very, very similar. One of these cameras costs twice as much as the other. Hard to believe on the close-ups. So let's be fair, let's play to the Fuji strength. Let's try a low light picture with lots of detail, and wow, look at the Fuji. It's absolutely knocked the Nikon into the stratosphere. Let's put them side by side, and wow, that is a staggering difference in sharpness, isn't it? That Fuji is biting. You can count the leaves on those ferns. Let's just zoom in. And that's what you're paying for with that lens from the Fuji. But the Nikon, it's done better than I thought. The next shot, we see the Fuji on this rock face reflected in the water. The colours, I'm not overly happy with the colours that you get from the Fuji. They tend to be a little bit sort of cold and pinky, a bit magenta-y. And for all its sharpness, it seems to be trying really hard to recover the shadow detail. Let's have a look at the Nikon in comparison. Now, it may be that I've been using Nikons for a very long time and I'm used to the colours, but I much prefer that colour. I think the Nikon, it may not be as sharp, that lens might not be as sharp, but I prefer the way that it deals with the colour to the Fuji. I would have to do a lot of post-production on the Fuji to get it back. Now look at that, there's a scene on a very flat sunless day, and look at the Fuji. It absolutely knocks spots off the Nikon. Look at the clarity in those trees back there. And this one is actually warmer. It's not so magenta. I don't understand it. And this is the River Stour, and I think you can see the Fuji's better lens. Look on the left there, it's just getting so much more detail in that bank opposite. But, you know, again, we've discussed the law of diminishing returns, haven't we? Because, you know, that's a £2,000 kit versus a £1,000 kit. Is the difference that much?
Wow, that Fuji lens is sweet, so sharp. But the Nikon, the ZFC with its kit lens, it did so well trying to keep up. And it's half the price. Amazing, really, how they fitted that into this little tiny retro travel camera. I'll leave links in the description so you can go and take a look at the cameras, affiliate links that is. But in the meantime, Paul's been using Fuji's for a while. He's an old Nikon user. Let's see what he thought.
I like it. It's a nice camera, and it's certainly got some great features. It reminds me very much of the FMs that I used to have for many years.
What did you have?
An FM, FM2, FM3A, FE, FE2.
I think you had
I bought every one.
Just about every F camera that ever came out.
They were very nice cameras, very nice cameras.
And they were kind of market leader cameras then, weren't they, in the late 70s, early 80s?
Yeah. The main feature is the dials, the use of the dials, but then again, Fuji do exactly the same. My cameras were exactly the same dials as it used to be in film days.
Oh, right.
So I can't see me changing back. I will wait and see what the XH2 is going to be like. Okay,
and so you don't feel that the dials was anything extra for you. What about the retro look?
Well, yes, nice looking camera. I don't mind that. It's fashion conscious, I suppose, for more modern people. But I like the look. But once again, so does Fuji with theirs.
I'm guessing you're a lensman, really. I've always sort of used a lensman. I mean, you know, you've liked your cameras, but you've particularly liked your lenses.
Yes, I've always enjoyed trying different lenses.
And you know, you seek out, you know, on rumours, Fuji rumours and Sony rumours and whatnot.
And put the order in.
Yeah, see what's coming in, and to get like the sharpest, you know, best lens you can. And for me at the moment, I would say that this camera isn't accessible to you because of the lack of lenses.
True, they've got some very nice lenses.
I mean, this camera's only got two available to it at the moment. The kit lens that comes with it, this 16 to 35 is it or something, and they do a 28mm fixed.
Yes, yes,
but
that's probably a nice lens.
But you know, that's to come, isn't it? You know. Yeah. And it's those third-party lenses as well, like from Zeiss and whatnot, and Tamron and things that you know aren't available for this camera yet.
No, maybe not. I don't know whether the normal Z lenses would fit.
Well, they would, but because the normal Z lenses are made for full-frame Z series cameras, and this being an APS sensor, then they're not giving you the focal range for what they were made.
That's true. They wouldn't.
So at the moment the lenses aren't there.
You're a bit restricted.
But I mean, this is I suppose marketed as a different camera, isn't it? I mean, this is. You know, under £1,000
well, that's it.
With the lens. It's not really
probably
competing with.
No, there is the difference. But it certainly seems to give great results. It works very nicely from what I can see. So yeah, you know, for somebody who wants a really good, small, easy to use camera, it's perfect.
I mean, they've packed it full of functions for people that want a light, and it is light. I mean, even compared to yours, you know, stripped down with just a lens and a body.
No power base.
No power base or anything. It was still significantly lighter.
It is
than that XH1 that you had. But saying that, it was a slightly unfair test. I mean, I tested it against a Nikon Z6 Mark II, and I thought that was unfair. So I thought we'd test it against another APS camera, but then. You rocked up with like a incredible lens.
It is a very sharp lens, and it's it's known for it. So really, it's not fair. So and my standard zoom is the 2.8, and once again, really, you couldn't.
Yeah, we haven't got anything to kind of pick. Unfortunately, we haven't got anything of this standard of kit lens, have we? Because we tend not to buy the kit lenses normally that come with a camera. We tend to buy it body only, and then use it with our own lenses and buy higher quality and faster lenses.
Of course, Fuji's so-called kit lens, the 55 to, I think, is it 85, the normal one, that is a superior lens anyway to what is a kit lens. It's always been known for being very good, and I've tried one and it is very good.
Yeah. So you know, one of the things that we're going to say today, maybe when we look at these pictures, is that yours are very sharp. And
True.
And I always think that Fuji have got that kind of that HDR, that look to them. Now I don't know what Fuji cameras are doing in the processing, but they definitely have a look. I don't think they advertise themselves as doing HDR necessarily.
It certainly seems to pick up more detail in the shadows, etc.
It certainly is doing some processing magic somewhere in there that is making the you know,
they do when you adjust them, you know, for printing. It's great because you can get more detail out of them. But but it's nice. I would use it. I certainly use it, no trouble at all. Yeah. But I think I would want a sharper lens.
Yeah, I think that's where we've come from. A lot of people that have tried this camera said, great camera, super travel camera for the money if you're just taking snaps on your holidays. Yeah. But to do a bit of serious photography, it's a cracking lens for the money.
That's it.
For the amount of money it costs. I mean, this is under £1,000 with the camera and the lens, and packed with technology. So it's a superb amount of money.
Yeah.
What you're getting is absolutely astonishing. Yeah. But if you're a serious photographer, you're going to be chomping at the bit really for a quality, a really quality fast lens to come out for this camera.
Then I think you would get the quality that it can give you.
Of course, there is the option of the FTZ adapter, which means then you've got all your regular Nikon lenses.
That would be good.
So I think that's my next stop. I think I need to put an adapter on this, and maybe
use a really good lens,
and use a good Nikon 2.8 lens, or even faster, and see how it performs.
Yeah, then I think it'll be fine.
So watch this space.
As I said, watch the space.
And and you're happy to keep the 80s cameras back in the 80s.
Yes.
Well, Paul might want to leave his 80s cameras back in the 80s, but if you love retro like me, you might want to check out the full review on the Nikon Zfc. Just click on this video here.